Go there.
Hi guys, this is Ginger Cook with Acrylic Painting Monday. Want to welcome everybody to our fabulous fun hour and a half or so of acrylic painting tips, tricks, and our live drawing, which we're going to be doing
Live.
today. Well, we're going to be doing that, right? And the voice you hear in the background there is our significant other, John Little, who's manning the cameras and helping to answer, relay questions to me. If you are watching this and are doing the live chat, be sure to put your questions in capital letters. We have our faithful, sterling moderators there to keep the live chat fun and happy. And that's going to be, who do we have there today? We have...
Well, we'd like to say hello to Steffi,
Hi,
Judy,
Steffi. Judy, hey, Judy. Woohoo.
Luann,
Hi, Luann.
Lady Liz, and Lynn from our Canadian office.
Wow. So, I mean, it was just...
So the only one we're missing is moderator Mona because she can't stay up over in
She's
Sweden.
in Sweden. There's a time zone difference. So those of you watching that, give a shout out to Mona, even though she's not here, because she'll watch this later and likes, and it's always great. And I'll tell you, Mona's one of those ones that always comments, says lovely things. It's very encouraging. And we're going to be with a special thing we're going to be doing today. We're going to be drawing winners to our contest from the last week's comments. And you had all week to make the comment, put in the secret word and all that stuff. And you're gonna see that live and on the show. You're gonna see actually it's so neat. And then of course we'll have another contest for next week. So we got all kinds of things to show you. And I have to tell you, I'm kind of sorry to have to say this word because it just makes a lot of people unhappy when you say the word. Ready? Take a deep breath. Try to smile. It's gonna be okay. Perspective.
What?
Yes.
That's a curse word.
I know a lot of people you say that word, they go fleeing out of the room, right? It's like when someone suggests to clean the garage or something. What? I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Perspective. What?
Perspective. So we're going to talk about some simple perspective things we think are going to help you. We've got a neat picture for you today. Really, really super neat. If John or you want to scoot down onto our table.
I'll be scooted.
And we're on this is a little reference photo we have. I've already transferred it onto a little canvas board. This is the Protone painting panel from Jerry's. It is not cardboard. This is masonite that's been treated and then covered with canvas and several coats of gesso.
Treated,
kind of triple treated.
Yeah, and they do a whole process.
And I transferred this on using Sorel transfer paper. And just, which you see us do all the time. Now, some of you may live in a place where, gosh darn it, you just can't get that. You wish you had it, but you can't get it, right? So I'm going to show you a little trick. If you cannot get transfer paper, what you can do is that you can get some very, very soft chalk. And when I say that, I mean, I like something very soft like this, right? And what you do is you just rub the back of your drawing. I'll just do a little space right there. I'll just rub something here like this. You rub the back of your drawing, all right? And then take a little Kleenex or paper towel or something and kind of...
Kleenex works better.
Kleenex works better, but that paper towel was right there, right? And then kind of blow the dust in the wastebasket. Notice mine's going on the floor, but... good intentions, right? Then give it a second coat, yeah? Give it a second coat. We haven't showed this in a while. And, this is very inexpensive. And oftentimes when the Sorel doesn't work because your canvas is a little rough or whatever, this always does. So let's, what do we got on here, right? So I'm just going to show you, I'll put this under here like that, and I'll just you want to take a pen, and let me just show you this. You see that? You see how... you can come on over here like this. You see how I'm getting the mark? And it shows up here. See how I can see it? And then you can always just take a little, colored pencil or something and go over it later if you need to. But this will get it on there for you. And white works even better than yellow.
Or if you're on a dark canvas, you could
on a dark canvas, because I have a very, very dark canvas. But you just pick a color you think is going to show up. let me just
Yeah, works like
let
a
me
champ.
just fold this in half like this. So I kind of know where I'm going to be, right? This side, right? So let me just show this side now, right? And I'm just going to use this sort of a light gray one, right? All right, now I'm just going to put that on there and show you too. You see how well that shows up?
That's perfect.
And that's really, you know, and these are just soft pastels. This is called a new pastel, NU pastel, and they're about $1. They used to be about $1 a stick, and they're really lovely for making your own transfer paper. So tip number 1 today: make your own transfer paper. Yes.
There it is, tip number 1.
You know,
you'll be tested at the end of the show.
Yeah. So that's tip number 1: make your own transfer paper, and that's good to know. So you see, we've got this little painting right here, and we haven't done much with it yet. But that's all right. Nonetheless, we'll be doing more with it. So I know that I want to make sure that I save these lines out so I don't lose them. This top line here. Now we're going to be talking about how to get the perspective when you're doing something like this. But right now I just want to make sure I have that because let me show you the colors we're going to be using first before I get too far along. Let me show you the colors we're going to be using. We're going to be using titanium white, zinc white. This is mostly Holbein and golden paint. There's some Matisse. Burnt umber, burnt sienna, phthalo blue, ultramarine blue. This would be Josny purple and a kind of a mauve. This is both from Holbein. This is Payne's gray, cad red medium light, magenta. Oh, and this was a new color. One of our Lady Liz, I think, sent this color to me, and I thought I'd try it out. This is called Shadow Green, and we're going to try that out, see if we like it. And then there's the raw umber. Raw umber is a color. If you're trying to age a building or age a painting, put a little raw umber in it because it really is a transparent brown. It's very pretty. You want to make sure you have a little bit of tape. I'm going to be probably using this thinner tape. This is artist tape. Okay. Now I've got cad yellow. I did a couple of those because I'm going to be making most of the greens. Yellow oxide, okay? And probably some paper plates to do a little mixing. Make sure when you're transferring on, you use a straight edge or a triangle or something to get your line straight. Yes and yes? That might be very
really
important.
Steady.
So I'm going to just sort of protect my
Now, what
house.
we're doing, you notice the screen is a little different now. We're giving you guys a bigger palette. Everybody wanted a bigger palette, and nobody needs to see me, so
Yeah.
you now have a big palette.
Yeah, people said that they wanted a bigger palette, so John said okay. And I just want to do this up here like this.
That new green is made by Holbein. It's a
Yeah.
Holbein color.
We don't know if you probably, if you have our color mixing journal, you can make just about anything when it comes to greens. You don't really need to buy anything, but we just, sometimes it's fun to be lazy.
We're doing an 8x10 this evening.
Yeah,
This is an
8x10, but this, I tell you what, this would be stunning large, like Eric and
20 by
Andrew.
24.
20 by 24, this would be stunning large. And the reason I'm doing this right here is because when I do my background,
You want to go in the roof.
I don't want it to go all over here like this. I'm just gonna kind of protect it like so. And there, that should be pretty. I just sort of I can put the chimney back, but I wanted to protect all this. And you can see how I use a palette knife to just let me just show you. Just put it down like that. Hold it with your finger, and okay. So
Kind of give yourself an edge.
this is sort of just protects that because I want to use for the background of this. I want to use a sponge.
Ooh,
And
we
I
love
think,
the
did you
sponge.
put my sponges? Did you take them away again?
Absolutely.
I need them in the drawers, or it's pretty
You
hard
know
to
when
get
to do.
them.
Hey,
I need.
I
them
don't. I got.
Where can I find a sponge? I don't know. While John's finding the sponge, I'm
Oh.
going to mix the
Here,
color.
let me get out my queen so I can find the sponge for you.
Yeah, get out so I can find the sponge. All right. here's some white, and we want a little bit of ultramarine blue, like maybe 2%. See, just a little bit of ultramarine blue here. Maybe a tiny bit of phthalo, maybe a drop of that. That's a pretty sky color, right? And maybe a tiny bit of Payne's gray. There we go. That's pretty. And thank you. Oh, look at there. I got some sponges. All right. So how about a little raw umber? Let's try that. Raw umber will kind of, it really ages something. I'll tell you what, it just kind of gives everything an age. You want to make your painting look older. All right, so that's a nice color there, and it has a little bit of a, raw umber has sort of a green tint to it too. So this is a very nice, this is a very, very nice color here, right? So I really like that. So I'm going to take more, I want more of that color. So we know, now we know how we make it. When you're making a color, this is your next tip. When you're making a color, do a little tiny bit, like a teaspoon worth. Get your color values going, right? And then make the color, right? Don't just start with a big puddle of something and then you've got a giant pile of paint you can't use. And why is that? Because now you can see I want this a lot lighter. So I'm going to put a lot more white in this. I got a little bit more than I wanted. A little more raw umber. There we go. Here, a little bit more raw umber and more white. So where did I put the white, right? Titanium white. So I didn't get anywhere near enough white in this, and it's not quite the color, so I'll put some more white here. I'll leave the cap off because I'm in a hurry. Don't have time to fool with that cap.
Of course not.
Here's the white. I don't like this palette knife. This is a stupid palette knife to mix anything with. Goldilocks doesn't like the palette knife. She likes these palette knives when you're trying to mix colors. There we go. There we go. More ultramarine blue. There we go. And just you kind of scrape and squish. See, I've got that. There you go. That's a great color. Lots of white here in it. All right, so that'll give me the basis for my sky. Okay. And now what you do is you take all that paint and kind of pile it up, right? Scrape it and pile it. There you go. All right, so now we're going to take a larger brush. We're just going to come down here, quite a bit of paint on this. And I'm just going to come over here like this and paint in the sky. The sky color. This is a 3/8 inch silver Bristol-on angle brush, short angle brush. You stay up there where you belong. So now, there we go. Now come down about this far. Don't have to come down too far, but I want to make sure that this is my first background color. Okay. And notice my brush does not have any water on it. Oh gosh, really? Nope, doesn't have any water. Now I'm going to take a tiny bit of magenta and white, maybe over here with this, and a little tiny bit of cad red, I think. Cad red light. Let's make this a little pinker. Okay. I want to come up here like this and just sort of add a little bit of that color into my sky in a couple places. Just barely, just kind of suggest it, not covering the whole thing, just sort of weaving it in and out. A little bit of color in here. Yes and yes. Okay. Everybody sees how we did that? So then
Stunning.
what?
Just stunning.
Well, it's nice to know how to do that. Now, I'm going to put the plate away, and the brush goes in water. And so let's just talk a little bit about this. If I want to use a sponge on top of this and I don't dry this, I will not have as successful an experience as I would if it was dry. How's that, right? So don't get lazy. Just don't be lazy. Just dry when you need to, you want to absolutely do that. And, that's key. So let's put this away for a minute. And let's see, we've been into the show a little bit, right, John?
Yes, my queen. We've got 360 people viewing.
All right, so this is a good time. I want to just stop and show you two paintings. And these are from our Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting. These are from our academy, and they're step-by-step lessons. Just my voice, nothing else. No John, no chatter. Just this. They're lessons. There's a couple, and these are lessons, and these are what, 9 by 12, I think. You know, probably.
They look like it.
Yeah, 9 by 12 canvases. And believe it or not, they will actually, when I'm done, go with the painting that we're doing tonight. By the time we add all the flowers and all the stuff we're going to do with it. So what we're doing is we're going to do a drawing for 2 winners of those of you who participated in our
Who participated in this week's drawing.
this last week's drawing from you guys from last week where you made the comment, right? And so I think we had almost
200.
over 200 comments, maybe close. It'd be nice to get 1,000 comments, but we had over 200 comments of people that made a comment and entered the secret word. And so John's going to, so the winners we're going to pick 2 winners, and which of course will be very random. Wait till you see how we do it. And the winners will have a choice of getting a downloadable lesson from either one of these 2. If they both want one of these or both want that one, we don't care. You'll have the choice of a downloadable lesson. And why would you want a downloadable lesson? Well, the thing about downloadable lessons is A, once you download them, you don't need the internet anymore to watch them. And B, you own them forever. It's like buying a book rather than going to the library and borrowing the book, okay? That would be the difference. It's your lesson forever. So on that note, John, why I am drawing this. John's going to show you. Going to go ahead and draw for 2 winners. Yes?
Oh, we can do it right now.
I think so.
Okay.
Are we ready to do that?
Hey, we can do whatever you want. You're the boss.
Well, what did you think this big introduction was about?
What?
Just.
I have no. Hey, with you, it's always a surprise.
You see, this is even doing all that. I couldn't stall enough. This has got to be. There, I'm drawing it.
All right, so you're drawing it, so I'm going to leave you. Okay, bye-bye. All right, while she's off, let's bring over our official YouTube random comment picker. Da-da-da! Got to get the link from last week's show right here. Here. Copy that. Bring it over here. I'm going to paste it in. All right. We're going to filter out the duplicate. So you only have to enter it one time. We will include comments just in case we make a comment, don't really make a reply. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how many we have. We have 215 comments currently. Are you done drawing so I can turn you back on? Okay. There's 215 comments. Now, we asked you to put in a secret word. The secret word was redonde.
Yeah.
And you see it dropped down to 185. Now, we asked you to do a hashtag. So if I put a hashtag in, there's 178. This time first, we're going to go for the word only. Now, if you spelled it incorrectly, it will not find it. So make sure the spelling, whatever spelling I put up on the screen at the end of the show or whenever I do it, you know what the word is, and you spell it how I spelled it, because that's how I'm going to put it in here. All right, now we're going to come down to the fun part. Here is going to be the first person to pick one of the downloadables. Right there, so it goes flying through them all. Brenda Ramon.
Ooh, Brenda.
I love the orange cad and the yellow cad light. This arrangement is absolutely gorgeous. I was hoping to go into the auction. Sorry, I didn't make that one. Maybe next, it'll be in the fall auction probably. Somebody said yes when you asked. I didn't see enough yeses.
Well, one thing I want to mention on that is that the question was, what's your favorite kind of add-on paint? If you have the basic colors, and a lot of people like that cad orange light or cad orange, cadmium orange. A lot of people liked luminous rose. So you ought to read through these comments because you want to get sort of an idea about maybe if you want to shop for a fun color, read what some of the people said because that might be a color you want to consider too. So go ahead, John.
Okay, one more. Downloadable number 1. All right, now you see a button down there that says pick another. Whoopsie, where'd it go? Well, I clicked off of it. No, it's down here. Pick another winner. So go ahead and pick another one.
Yep.
And Paul and Catherine, Fournier, I think.
Fournier. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's the second winner. So you guys each get to pick one of those downloadables that you want.
And you have, we
you
won't
have
be
to contact
contacting
us.
you. You have to contact, there's a little bit of the thing. You gotta, listen to the next show, see if you won, because you have 10 days to contact us, and we appreciate you playing. And we're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff like this. In fact, maybe toward the end of the show, we'll do one more for a surprise one. We might pick one more winner, so hang in there with us, okay?
You just never know what we'll do.
You're just never going to know. So I've got another one that I think will blow your socks off that we might pick another winner for, okay?
Blow your socks off.
Yeah.
Provided
All
you
right.
wear socks.
Well,
Thank you, everybody, for participating and commenting. We'll have another word for tonight's show.
Which we'll mention, and we'll have another question, and we will weave the word in somewhere in the middle of the show, right?
Yeah.
And you want to be careful not to tell everybody because the more people you can tell everybody we want them to enter, but from a selfish point of view, the less people that enter, the bigger your chance of winning.
But we really want everybody to comment.
But we really want everybody to comment. So there you go. So I'm sort of in a quandary.
I'm not in a quandary. Please like, comment, subscribe. Do all the things you need to do.
All right. So now what I need is sort of a gray-green. I've got this blue background. Yes?
It's a gorgeous color.
So what I'm going to do now, isn't that a pretty color?
It's a great color.
Is I'm going to just take my palette knife, which I've wiped off here, put that out of the way, and I'm going to add a little bit of this green that we had here. See that? That was that green that was
That's
called
shadow. The shadow green.
Shadow green, the shadow nose, right?
I love that color. Look at that color.
Look at how
color.
that just mixed with the background color.
Oh.
It makes this perfect. Now, where's my picture? Look here.
Looky here.
Looky here. See this perfect
It's
background
there.
color.
You've got it.
See? So then what we're going to do, oh gosh, we're going to do stuff. Then I'm going to take the sponge and wet it and wring it out. And this is really important. I'm going to wring it out and I'm going to wipe it in a towel here. And then I'm going to kind of wad it up like this. And the trick to doing something like this is take a moment and do a test. See if that's quite what you were thinking about, right? And it is.
Gorgeous background.
So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to just make a little tree up here like this. Just suggest a tree.
About like yay.
Okay, a little tree. And see, I can go over the tape, you see, because...
Okay, Kathy would like to know, how would you make that color if you don't have that green? If you don't have shadow green?
Interesting.
The queen will have to think a moment.
Now think about it. We'll see about that, right? If you didn't have that green.
I bet she'll come up with an answer.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. So we don't want to go up too high. It gets a little smaller up here. We're going to just do a little of these greens. Now, I know that's, let's see, let's bring that down a little bit further down in here like that. Okay, so we got that. All right, so we brought that down a little further. Now, now I'm going to go ahead. I need some kind of more, well, I can have a little of this green over here, but not much. Just a tiny bit. Just barely touch it. A little of this green over here. But I want more of a yellow green now. So starting with that, I'm going to take some cad yellow medium. And I'm going to add to that. Okay. And that's pretty. Let's put some of that blue with it. That's a nice kind of a light blue-gray green, isn't it? So now let's see. Now what can we do? Well, let's kind of wipe this off the... Now let's go into this. Test it here, right? Yeah, I'm going to test this here, and I'm going to come up here like this and suggest that there's some trees. I want these a little... Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe it's a little bit of white with that. A little bit of zinc white with that. There we go. There, I'm gonna say I've got some trees, some sort of little bushy trees doing this. They're a little closer, they're a little brighter. I'm gonna take some of this color and just add a bit of that in there, just a touch. Let's stomp that in there. Yes and yes. Okay. And that's kind of fun. Then what else could we do? Well, we've got, we're doing pretty good here. So where's our palette knives here? I want something a little brighter. So let's take some yellow and white. Let's take some zinc white since we've got a lot of it here. We're not using it. Okay, I got some yellow and zinc white. And I need this to be, that's pretty good, but that's too yellow green. You see that? That's too yellow green. I need this gray green. So we take some phthalo blue, and we need more of a blue green. I'll take some phthalo blue and raw umber. Okay, here's the raw umber. Okay, so that's a better green. Yeah, yeah, that's a
Kind of a
better
cool
green.
green.
It could be a little bluer. Okay, but it's a little yeah. So let's put a little more raw umber with it. Raw umber is like has got a little brown, and I used all my raw umber up. Where'd it go? I had it right up here where we could see it. Yeah. So raw umber it's translucent color. It won't change stuff very much. So if I put a little raw umber in
It
that,
kind of tints it.
it just tints it just the slightest amount. And all right, so there's I usually like to start with my darker colors first. So I'm going to come up here and
I know what are the titles of the downloadable lessons that were shown that were one? One is the Michigan House, and the other one it escapes us at the moment.
we
Let me see if I can find
yeah.
if I can
Judy
bring that
probably
up.
knows. Judy, what's the title of the other one?
Judy knows
knows.
stuff.
We do this stuff at the last minute, so nobody bothered to look it up. All right, so I clean my sponge here. I'm going to come up here like this and just,
Well, it doesn't have house in it. Cottage. I can't remember what we called that
it was
one.
Italian villa, I thought. It was like an Italian villa. I want some white here. I want something kind of light up in here, up above here like this. Kind of behind my house, up here like that.
Not
And
Villa
I'm going to
either.
take some of this white. See, I just went right into the white now. And I came in here like this and did a little light. Okay. There, let's see, let's do a little bit of darker green. It's amazing what you can do with a sponge.
It's really nice pastel colors.
Yeah, so those are the sort of the, what could I do with the sponge kind of thing, right? And then I want maybe a little more white here in the front. I'm going to just tap,
Michigan
if I
House.
tap it while it's still wet, it kind of turns into lighter green in the front. So there you go. All right, so I've got that. The rest I can do with the brush, but I've done this, and that's excellent.
The other one may not be on the new site yet. I'm not finding it.
Well, it's probably on the old site, but we can get it over there. We were
Oh yeah,
moving them
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. We can do that. I love how this is a joint project. We
Do-
can get that over there.
Do you like it?
I'm sure that's the royal way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it's nice, right? And I want some of this lighter green right here too. Right here, a little bit of lighter green right by the house here, right up here like that. And a little bit of light. Here we go, it's just
Uh,
a little bit of light here, color. I'm gonna put it down here. Like that. Okay, then maybe
that.
a little darker. This is fun. Painting with a sponge, you can even mix with that. Let's just get a little darker one in here, just on the shadow in here like that. There we go. So that's pretty good here. Then if I'm doing that, I'll take some of the shadow green and break this up a little bit like that. So here's some shadow green. All right, for that tree. Okay, so a little tree there that's a little darker. And all right,
Glue
so
that canvas
now
down.
at this point, that's all really I need to do with the sponge. But
It's not the garden house.
no, it was an Italian villa.
No, it's not villa, and it's. I thought it was a chalet. That doesn't come up either.
Well, while you're looking, I'm going to dry. Can you have anything else you can share with
Oh yeah,
people?
wait. on a second, I can show some art.
Yeah, I want to just give a shout out. You know, those of you who are new to our channel may not know it, but we have an actual art online arts academy, and it's go at your own pace at however you feel you want to do it. We start with a very beginner, never picked up a paintbrush in your life, and you can do a bunch of this, what we call 1 and 2 cookie lessons, very easy, clear up to a box of cookies. But we have found that people that start out, actually, sometimes it's easier for a person who's never painted to do really well because they just follow instructions and they just keep getting better and better. And we see that all the time. But no matter how long you've painted, we've got some tips for you. I think you might be very surprised at that. So
The other one's Peony's Garden in the Alps.
Peony's Gardens and the Alps.
And it's not on the new site yet, so we have to bring it over.
Yeah, we'll bring it over.
All right, you're done. Shh, quiet. All right, hey, this week we have a painting from Tammy. This is in tribute to Uncle Bob, who's gone on to a different picnic table, as it were, with his significant other, Judy and Uncle Bob. That was done by Tammy. Tammy, thank you very much for sharing. Next up, we have Liz C. This is not Lady Liz, this is another Liz. This is her before personal art coaching.
You put my sound back on.
Oh. Yes, my queen, you may now speak.
I want to say that was before personal art coaching, and she just kind of put the painting away and for a couple of years because she wasn't happy with it. Flash forward 2 years later with a tiny bit of personal art coaching for the second round.
There's the final.
See, I mean, I'm telling you, guys don't think you're getting better. You get better.
I mean, that's a phenomenal difference. That first one looks so mean, and this one looks like a nice putty cat.
Yeah.
So thank you, Liz, for letting us share that. 2 excellent paintings.
Notice how the tape is coming off. The
Yes, that kitty is a tutorial.
These are all Academy tutorials. Yes, you betcha. And one of the reasons you might want to, join the Academy is to expand your art knowledge. All right, so this is dry, and you see now we've got our now we're ready to put in our houses because we've got our background, and you see when we took the tape off, we still kept it.
It looks great.
So yeah, kind of cool. Yes and yes.
It's almost like a silhouette.
Yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and get a smaller brush. Just kind of clear my area around here a little bit more since everything's kind of piled up in the way. And let's
I had
see.
nothing to do with that.
Of course not. I never said you did. Just saying I'm going to do
But
it.
it was
All
being
so
implied.
it was implied. Okay, so let's take a little bit of Payne's gray and let's see. Let's put out some more white because we used it up. And a little Payne's gray and white.
Hey, we'd like to thank Catherine for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. I think you're getting
thank you
close
very
to
much.
the $100 to get into the drawing. And we also have another one. Wait. It's Miss Harper. How do you say her first name? Vanetta. I knew it. I was so close. And thank you, Miss Vanetta. Vanetta. Thank you. Do greatly appreciate that.
Well, absolutely. Thank you very much. Payne's gray is an interesting color. It's a blue gray. And it's just the perfect color for this picture. It's very nice. It's really ultramarine blue, black, and white. You don't have Payne's gray. That's the color. How you make it. Okay. We're going to just take a little darker here on this one. I'll just take probably more Payne's gray because here's my roof line here. Now these angle brushes are so marvelous because you get a very, very straight line. And very, very nice to use. And right up here we have a chimney, which I'm going to go ahead and still put up here like that. There you go. So kind of a chimney thing. So now, here's this dark. This is our second last roof line over here. And I'm going to make that a little darker, put a little purple on the edge here. Make that, adding a little purple to it kind of darkens it up. Okay, and then I'll just sort of draw that in a little bit, right? So here's the roof line, a little bit of a shadow, and here's the edge of our houses, like so. Here's something dark under here too, a little bit of purple. Dark here.
Arizona would like to know the Payne's Gray formula again, please.
Payne's Gray is ultramarine blue, black, and white.
And the white's being used is to control the
Yeah, white just had, yeah. So you can see it's kind of it's on the gray scale. You can kind of see where it is. You can see now. You can see where I've sort of you know, kind of block that in, right? Pretty easily, yes. So I'm going to rinse the brush, a little bit of white, and
Now, when you're ready to
Burnt
talk
umber.
about the perspective, my queeness, I do have your drawing available.
yeah. When we start talking about the perspective, which we definitely will be doing soon, we're going to suggest that there is a little bit of a road that goes back here, even though it's not in the photograph.
You're adding a little human interest.
Yeah. I'll say that there's a little bit of road going back there. And I'm going to have to lower it just a little bit. Got to do this. I got it up a little high. That's all right. It's going to go back this way, and I'll put a little white light on it. And here's a little bit of white. We're just going to suggest some white. Too much paint. When you get that much paint on, just work it in, right? So here's our little path here. And I'm just going to come back up here and get rid of that path because I don't want it up that high. Okay. And we'll take a little bit of our lighter colors here. And, okay, let's see, I want a little more white with that. Okay, so our path is going back this way, and then we've got some little bit of light. Want more blue greens in the back. There we go. So this is dry, so I can add a few more green colors to this, see, and be all right. So there's our path is kind of going this way. Okay. So then, while that's drying, what we're going to do is we're going to take a larger brush. This is the. I'm going to go ahead and put in the barn. So let's take some bread and Bert's a little bit of cad red medium and burnt burnt sienna, I think. Put the barn in. This is just your first coat. Doesn't mean diddly squat, right?
Doesn't mean diddly squat.
Here's some purple and ultramarine blue. We're going to come in like this. Come underneath these rafters here, this eave. Put this darker.
Hey, we'd like to thank Ivana for the donation that came in through the PayPal system.
Yeah, and speaking of thanking people, I want to thank everybody who participated in the auction and just helped us keep the lights on another month. We appreciate it very much. Keep the videos coming. And the auction was very much appreciated. Those you got, and we had how many people won bids, John?
Off the top of my head, a lot.
We had 60 paintings. Yeah.
61 paintings sold.
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33 different people.
33 different people, and
that's high.
And John has got most of them all mailed out already.
Everything's been mailed out that has been paid. I am waiting on payment for 3, and 1 is under the payment plan, and that's the 4th one. So I have 3 people I still need to get a hold of. But all in all, we did good. I really appreciate everybody timely doing that. Some of you did overpay on shipping because of the way the system works. I don't know why it does what it does. You will be refunded accordingly. So look for those in probably tonight. I'll process those out tonight. Is the marathon still on the 13th? Yes, it is. Thanks for asking. We have a YouTube marathon coming up on August 13th that will be held starting probably, what time we usually start those, 3:30? I think we do 3:30.
Yeah, about 3:30.
It's either 2:30 or 3:30 we start those. And we paint. Ginger tries to get a dozen done before she drops. And she's been successful. So
there we go. And those are up. Those are auctioned off. And
yeah,
they're
those
little
will be
6
put
by.
up on the auction
They're little
site.
6x8, and anything that we add texture to, we'll do with them. We'll be sure to use the
They'll all be done on the boards.
They'll all be done on boards.
Yeah,
so
they're all going to be done on the new.
The boards will be
the
either a
proton
little
boards.
easier to frame and
Makes it simple to frame and take care of. They're really nice boards.
Okay, so you see how this is just cad red medium and white. This is some burnt umber, some purple, so you can see how we're getting we're putting in the background for this. Now I'm going to take some raw umber and white and a little Payne's gray, like just a tiny bit.
Ginger, John, I got my painting today, the firefighters.
Oh, did you?
A lot of people got it. I got them out on Friday so they would go out, and most people got them today.
I'm curious, if the lady that got the firefighters, is that going to be something you're keeping, or do you have a firefighter in your home, or someone that's going as a gift? I'm just curious that they got the firefighters fire.
Joan would like to thank you for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. I think she's closing in on $100 too. This is our last month for making donations in our quarterly. You don't have those paintings, do you?
No.
No, they're back with the other ones. We weren't ready for that, were we? We are so organized.
we try to be so ready for everything, and then we're not. So it's always a mystery to me.
I just don't understand it. We know what we want to do.
We do. We absolutely know what we want to do.
But it just never.
And
all of a sudden, the time's here.
Yeah, the time gets here, and then we. Now we're kind of layering in. There's no water on this brush. I know a lot of. If you guys are going to be catching us this Friday with my daughter Cinnamon, we're going to do this. We'll talk about it in a minute about this bird hop.
The painted
there's
bird
a hop, and you're going to hop to me, to Cinnamon, to me, to Cinnamon, to me, to Cinnamon. Some of you may not know that Cinnamon is my daughter, but
the art sharper's your daughter?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
A lot of people don't know that, John.
I didn't know that.
And they don't know it, right? And it's okay not to know it, but they just don't. And so, like I say, we're going to be.
I'm going to keep it. I'm painting one to donate to the Holbrook firefighters.
Nice.
So now she has the original to go from.
Oh,
well, that's
perfect.
a good way to do it.
Absolutely.
That's an excellent way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sally would like to thank you for the donation came in through YouTube Super Chat. Thanks for being you. Was a dude holding a mirror. That's us.
All right, now I've got magenta, white, and Payne's gray.
Great colors.
And I've got this sort of soft mauve purple. Okay. And I want to come over here like this and just put in a few little purple trees right here.
Tonight, we're not using the Stay Wet palette. Some of you have noticed we're using the standard gray palette paper that we use from somebody.
Yeah, well, we just, it's from Jerry's, because, I just, and I want a little bit more of this purple on the roof here. I like the way, if the paint isn't too wet, you can dry brush. If it's too wet, it gets very difficult to dry brush. And I do a lot of dry brushing. And, so I see we got a little bit of purple back in there. We've got a little bit of this. Now let's take a little bit of light color.
The palette paper's in our Amazon store. If you go to gingercooklive.gallery/Amazon, you would find it in there.
Right, it's just a little bushes back here.
I'm liking it.
A little bushes back here. You can see how we're doing that. So it's an interesting technique, isn't it? Because you've got this really cool background.
Now, what kind of colors did you use on your sidewall there, Missy?
On this one?
Yeah.
Or this was just raw umber and white.
Just raw umber white on the tan.
Yeah, I haven't got the white on there yet. This is the first coat of that, right?
Okay.
And then I've got a little of this light color right here, and I might put some of that around here now. I'm going to bring this forward a little bit. See, we can start adding some colors just with the brush. Once we got the initial colors in, now we can, brighten something up if we need to. Just have something a little lighter around, and maybe in this area right here, tap on something. But it gives you a place to start, where you can start suggesting that there's some light and so forth, right? It gives you a little place to start, which is very nice. And I'm going to take a little of this green here and just come along here, this sort of smoke green. Now I know you're going to ask me how to make this color, and you have done that. So I'm going to go ahead and use this color since I've got it out. Let's see, we want a little bit darker right in here like that. Okay, and we want some darker in front of our houses like this, or these little buildings. And then I know I want something darker all in here like this. I'm going to use up the rest of this. And
hey, we'd like to thank Carrie for the donation that came in through the PayPal system.
I'm going to kind of darken this up. It'll get much lighter, but we're going to go ahead and, I always start with my darkest colors and then kind of play with the light ones. Like, for instance, I know I want something light next to this building. And right up in here, I want to just kind of shorten that up a little bit. And there, so I'm going to say there's a little bit of light up in here around this like that. Okay, so there's some little light there, and then we're going to start putting light in this other places too. I always ask myself though, so where else could I put this? And if I said there was a little bit of light path going, where else could my path go? I just want the path to go a little bit further than it's doing. Okay, something like that. And we'll work on that a little more, but that kind of gives you an idea how we block things in. Now, how to make that color, all right? So let's put a little more of the shadow green out. And one of the things you have to ask yourself when you're looking at a color like this, is it more of an olive green? Is it a dark olive green? So let's just put it on something white like that. It's kind of it has sort of an olive green feel to it, doesn't it? But there is, it's probably a combination of both phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. So we're going to start with those two colors, like that. We're going to start with those two colors like that. Okay. And now let's try, let's try a little yellow oxide. Now we'll come in here like that. Now, all right, so that's pretty good, but it's still a little too red. Yellow oxide has red in it, so if we add a little cad red to it, let's do a little cad red medium, just a drop of that. Now, how close did we come? Pretty close, didn't you think?
Darn close. You'd have to add white to them to see where they really are.
So I might add Payne's gray to that to dull it down a little, because that's a pretty dull green. So if I added a little green, and let's see, I need a little bit of zinc white. Where did I put the zinc white?
You scooped it all up and used it.
Yeah, so let's put a little more of that out. So, I mean, this is kind of key when you're talking about mix. Ask yourself first, is it an olive green? Here it is right here. I want a little more yellow with it. A little bit more of this yellow oxide color. Now let's look. Yeah, the black kind of dulls it. See that? This green has a little black in it. There you go. So that's kind of how you'd make that color. see when they dry, they're pretty close. So anyway, since you asked, that's how you'd make it.
There you go. Now, what was this? What again? The tan color on the sidewalls was what?
Just a raw umber and white.
Okay, raw umber and white.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
I keep forgetting.
That's all right. Well, other people are going to ask that question. So,
So we're starting to talk about the bird hop. So you might as well talk about it now because people are getting confused already.
what is a bird hop? Well, I'll talk about it, right? What is a bird hop? Well, bird hop is this joint collaboration Cinnamon and I are doing on this Friday.
Starting at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Cinnamon will be the first to go. She will start, and when you're done with watching her, then you will hop over to our channel and watch me paint a bird, and I'll tell you more about it as time goes on. Then when I'm done, you hop back and watch Cinnamon paint another bird, and then
And then when you're done with that one, you hop back to us for our second bird, which would be the third one of the series. And then you're going to hop back over to Cinnamon, the Art Sherpa,
yep,
for the fourth one. No, third, whatever. The next one. And then back to us, and back to her, then back to us. You end on us. You start on her and you end on us, and there's 6 birds. Do the math.
yeah. So you
So
start.
we have a playlist in our group, in our YouTube channel that has them all listed. Our newsletter had it in it, and I believe it's also in our Facebook group.
And I'm going to show you in the next break where I have to dry something. I will show you the pictures that we're going to be painting, and we're doing them on little 4x4. Oh, I'll show you one right now. Look.
What the
This is one
heck?
of the first one. Here's one right now.
6
Here's
by
our
6
little bird,
canvas.
little 6x6, and they're gallery wrap, and you paint them all the way around the edge. Fun,
Isn't
right?
that cute?
And these we're going to be doing now. What's neat is Cinnamon's doing them too, and so there'll be a collection. You can start. You'll be able to make your own collection of these birds. Something very collectible, we think. Let's see, a little bit of white here. I need this a little bit lighter up here.
The
Okay.
best thing to do would be go to one of our playlists, either ours or Cinnamon's. We both have the same playlist, and just put reminders so you just know when to start and
Yeah.
And hop
you
back
want to
and
stop
forth.
and hop back and forth.
each segment would be about 45 minutes is what we project each one will be.
Yeah, we've got it timed out at
We've
that.
got it timed out for 45 minutes, so that's how we're going to do them. And the videos will stay up. It's a YouTube, so they'll just stay there.
Yep.
Since this will be a speed painting, these are not speed paintings.
They're not speed paintings. Come on, you guys.
It's not that hard of a. It's
I
very
could do
simple.
this in 10 minutes. I'm going to have to drag it out to 45.
She's already painted it, so I mean,
Okay.
since she's painted it once, she could do it now in her sleep. So
Okay. So you see how we're coming on. Now we've just sort of got this pretty nicely roughed in, I feel like, we do. And so here's I want to put in our blue roof again. It's got a little purple. I'm going to put a little more of the blue roof in here. And then this is kind of does a little angle here like that. Okay, so far so good. Yes and yes. And then let's do a window. Okay. And I want that a little bit bluer. There we go.
Elizabeth, we have all the rooms already built. Just go to our playlist and you'll find one that says the bird hop, the painting bird hop playlist that has all 6 links are in it. Just look in our playlist. Add that to your own playlist and then you're ready to go.
And there's our doors. Okay, yes and yes. All right, so now now I think we're ready to do some more stuff. Let's get something dark in this window in here. There you go. All right, so there we go. There's our window, there's our doors. Let's start building our painting. Yes and yes. You're going, weren't we building it before?
Yeah, what have we been
No,
doing?
we weren't building it before. We were just anticipating building it. Yes and yes. Okay, so we've got a little bit of this bush coming up here like that. This way. Something a little darker, like this mauve color. All right, now, so the main thing that I want to do to make this, because here's what we've got. So how do you take a painting like this and make it fun and interesting? Where'd it go?
And I do have your diagram I can put up too.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about that too, but I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and, one of the things I would have liked to have had, if I was doing this larger, I would have used texture, more texture on this. And, still I want the contrast here. I would have used a lot more texture and than we have now. I would have put texture on it, but since we don't, for time constraints, we don't have that. So right now, I'm just layering. So I'm taking a little bit of this mauve color, and I'm just kind of layering and layering in the purple tones to this. Got some coming around here like this. My building like that. Gonna layer that in, and then I want some of the. I think we did a little bit of this orange color here. Let's try some zinc white with that. Something a little lighter. Nothing quite that. There we go. I'm gonna wipe off the brush. Then when you're dry brushing, and kind of wipe it off, and you don't want to overdo it, but you can do some really nice tones in this that are surprisingly very that will just allow for some interest in the painting. And you put it on your brush and barely touch it. See, like that. Just put it on. Let's just put it there, like that, right? Okay, so far so good. Yeah. Now I want to put some white on my building here now, and I might take this is where I'd like this to be a very nice straight line right here. So I'm just gonna, this is just an old card of some kind, food card or gift card or something. See, it's just a nice way to get it. Not pure white, but it's got some white on it, like that. There you go. And I'm just going to put that down here in these buildings. As we go back, like this little building on the end, it's got some light in it. And I'm going to get a little bit more white up here. Okay, and bring this down. It doesn't have to say that much. It just, what I mean, you can kind of, you can overdo it. See, I barely have any paint on the brush. Wipe like 99% of it off, and when I drag it over here, this is what dry brushing is. Just sort of drag it over, and then you age something. That's really the trick on how you age it. And then this is kind of at an angle right here. And then we'll see, we want this to be right here, like this chimney up here. So I don't think it's even a chimney, whatever this is up here. It's there's like little windows in it. There you go, up there like that. All right, something up there. So so far so good. Yes and yes. And now I'm gonna start putting in the flowers, of course, right? So we're gonna take some let's see, didn't we mix some greens over here somewhere? Well, we've got quite a few here. They're probably still wet. Let's just start with the darker green. Okay. That's right. Let's get a nice dark green here. Ooh, what happened here?
Wasn't me.
Well, we'll fix it. We're going to start putting in a vine coming up here like this on our barn. And I want some darker greens. So I'm going to take some ultramarine blue and yellow. Okay, I want a really nice dark green up and down into here. Let's put some dark green here. All right. And let's see, do we want any dark greens in here? Yeah, well, I like that gray green, but we'll put a little more yellow with this and just do some light. I have white somewhere. Am I attacking myself with white paint?
I find that so hard to believe.
I know, I feel like I'm being attacked by the white paint, okay?
It's probably that missing tube of white paint.
Yeah, so I'm going to just come on up here into my barn a little bit higher than I had it in the picture like that. Let's see, let's take a little bit of this brown color and kind of get rid of that white that was right there. Okay, yes and yes. Now, changing brushes, we want something smaller, so I think I'll just take a small round one. I know you put all the little brushes back. Here it is. Here's one of these is really nice for this because you can take a little bit of white and blue. And I noticed that I don't have any phthalo out anymore, so let's put a little more phthalo out. Okay. And I want a little bit of white and blue. And a little tiny bit of ultramarine, kind of a combination of both of those, maybe a little mauve with it. Okay, so now I'm going to sit there and say I'm going to put a few little blue flowers here. I always start with the darker color first. Right. Let's say then I want some lighter color in that. So I'll just take some zinc white while this is still wet. And just tap right on top of it. Sometimes you can do that. And you get, so we've got that little blue flower. And then I want some kind of more yellowy green flowers or leaves. So I'm going to put those in all right, so then what else have we got? This is to me, this is where the fun starts. The phthalo blue and green gives you a better, not better, but a brighter green. So you want your brighter colors in front. So I'm going to start tapping in some of my brighter greens here.
Chris has a question. If you decide to use texture on the building, would you do just the end of the wall?
If you were doing it very large, you could do both sides of this, and then you could do some texture on the flowers too. But otherwise, probably just more the end of the wall, right? So, yeah, just going to get a little bit lighter here. Okay, so now I've got, and I want some darker green. On this wall, I want something growing up here like that. Over here that just is.
John, if you didn't use cinnamon soap, would you use Murphy soap? I've never used Murphy soap for
no,
that.
if you're not using cinnamon soap, no, you use what's the stuff we used to use before? I used for 20 years.
Yeah, it was other stuff.
No, you don't use not Murphy's.
No, I've never used Murphy soap. Did I hear Ginger say the Bristolons are available in small size angles down to 3/8?
I think so. Yeah.
They don't have a quarter. They do 3/8 and a half, 3/4, or 5/8. They don't do the full set. Not yet, anyways.
Yeah, but if it's popular, you never know. If a lot of times companies will do things when they feel like it's worth their while to do it. In other words, if everybody was buying that their job is to sell stuff to you, and then of course, some of these may have.
Yeah, Master's Touch. I think that was it.
Yeah.
It's in our Amazon store, like
yeah.
PJ said.
Which I used for years, and Cinnamon just came up with a better one. And to my opinion,
Yeah.
better.
Well, yeah, and Ginger washes the brushes all the time, so she
Well,
she would
John, well,
know.
I mean, I did it for years before John came along and took that duty away from me, which was great, right? I'm gonna just come up here now and lighten this up a little bit. There we go. And just kind of lighten that front wall up a bit. And just usually when I'm planting flowers, I usually start with the greens, and then I'll start with my flowers after that. And just put a little white in this green here. Just get the greens going. And I want some very light flowers growing around the side here. Brighter colors in the front, yes, and gray them up as they go toward the back. Graying the things about a landscape. The farther away something is, the grayer it is. Does that make sense?
The further things away, the grayer they are.
They get grayer.
Yeah.
So you want to keep that in mind when you're
they lose
painting
their
anything,
brightness.
right?
Yeah. That's how you create depth.
Yeah, so here's a little bit of this green color, and I'm just going to drag a little bit of this green on the barn too. Just in a couple places. Maybe over here. Drag a little green. Okay. Let's see how we're sort of aging this. Now, I could use I think it's some raw umber and white.
We'll be showing the original of this shortly when she talks about the perspective. We have a diagram we'll be putting up.
Yeah, yeah. So, now the traceable for this will be available.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be available tomorrow.
Should be up and ready for action tomorrow.
Okay, so here's our kind of our road coming around, right? And then we want this. I mean, to me this is fun. I don't know about you guys, but it's fun, and it's fun seeing it take shape, isn't it? Where you're just going, huh? You never would have thought that, and then there it is, right? So I'm gonna wipe off the brush because I had too much paint. I want a little bit more white up here in the corner. There you go, so a little bit more white on that. Now I want to just take the light green like this, and I want to just come up here like this and just do a little, just using the corner of my brush. I'm just going to I'm going to plant some wild stuff, letting some of that dark underneath show through. Could even be a little brown in here too, a little brown and white. Cool, right?
Coming together beautifully.
But, so we've got that now. Okay, so far so good, yeah? And let's just do a little bit of that in white. And I want this lighter white. Sometimes it's just getting the right shade. I want something light, right? Here, okay. Back behind it. Give it a little depth, right? And the same thing with this. I want something a little lighter back behind these flowers to just bring your eye back into the painting. Something up here like that. Just bring it back. There you go. So now you got a little bit of depth going with something. Okay, now we haven't put all the flowers, but we still got we've got a few, but we could start with these growing over here on the side. One thing about it, when you get used to a stay wet palette and you don't have it anymore, that paint would still be good there, right? I'm still putting it out. I'm not complaining. I'm just making an observation. Is that I want this sort of gray-green color next to the house here, okay? And bring it out just a little further. Then we'll take some of the lighter green and take a little bit out here like this. Now, let's take some of this yellow, white, yellow oxide maybe, and a little phthalo blue. Make a nice bright green. Okay. That's kind of a nice color. And I like that, but I want one darker than that still. So let's get one next one darker than that. Take some yellow and yellow, green and yellow oxide. This green and yellow oxide, that's a good color, kind of a grade color. So let's come up in here and do this. Just so that there's this little bit here, a little bit of weeds. Then we'll go to the next light color. And suggest some little flowers. Yeah. Okay, so far so good. Then I want some more of this blue-green color. I want it more blue-green and white, very light. Okay, like that. More of this kind of more of a lighter blue-green up in this area. Oh, I like that color. Let's put some of that over here too. Anywhere else? That's pretty. Okay, come on down here like that. For some of these lighter ones. Okay. Now what? Let's take some white and brown and do a little beige, something going up here like that. That make that higher than there. Okay. So we're getting there, right? So somebody wanted to know where the original photograph was, right? That's not there. I had it earlier, didn't I?
You did.
Wonder what? Oh, here it is. So we started with this. Okay, and this is where we are right now, see? So now you're going, that's cool, right? So now I'm going to take some white and this mauve color. And I want to come up here like that, a little bit more white. And this would be really pretty if you did texture on this. And
I'd like to thank Sandra for the donation that came in through the PayPal system. Thank you, Miss Sandra.
Sandra, thank you very much. Do something dark over here.
It's a great color.
Okay. We've got that, and we've got a little bit of, remember, acrylics dry darker, so you may think you were just fine, and then you're not. Yes? I'm just using the corner of this brush, right? Yeah, using the corner of this brush. And okay, so far so good. Now, let's find a new paper towel. And keep going. Where else? Oh yeah, let's do some lighter flowers in the front here. I think I'd like these more on the, a little bit more of the yellow oxide in them, and white. Yeah, probably change brush at this point. I'm really pushing the envelope there with that one brush, because I know I'm pretty determined how I want these. I know exactly how I want these brush strokes to go, so I don't want just little globs. I want little flowers coming up along here like this, and coming up. And they're not, the thing with this is that flowers are not stars on a flag. They're just if you try to draw them in, you just want to make them very small and touch each other. They kind of go in clumps. And you know, years ago when my mother, when I was a kid, my mother we'd decorate the Christmas tree, and my mother, always took 3 balls, Christmas balls, and tied them together in like clusters of 3, and she'd tie them on the tree, and they were so much prettier than just one ball. We'd have some balls that were just one, but she did an awful lot of these ones that were just there we go. See, we got some yes and yes. We got some flowers over here. We've got sometimes you have to know where you want your white. I want just a little bit of white right there, and I want a little bit more white over here. I haven't finished yet. Still doing flowers. Yeah, yes and yes.
Eric says this is one of his new favorites.
Is it? Oh, Eric, I'm so pleased because I love it. I love it when you do it because I'm sure it'll be awesome.
It'll be big.
It'll be well. It needs to be big, and this would be textured, and then these flowers would all be textured, right? And it gets pretty neat then. And then, so while this is drying, this has got to dry before I do the final flowers and the final colors on it, right? But you can see that we've come a long ways between
No, you
here
can't
and
do it.
here,
Hold
right?
it. Hold it.
So, did you figure? So again, we want to congratulate the two people that maybe John would get ready to do another drawing. I want to show. Well, that's drawing. I want to show you some stuff that's coming up, and that if you're an Academy member, at least red or above, you get. We give you new releases every month. From sometimes they're very beginner, like 2 cookie lessons. Sometimes they're a box of cookies. I'm gonna show the cowboy here in a second. You're not going to believe
What we've done this time.
what we've got to show you. So I want to be sure to have enough room. So last week, which was I think on Thursday or Friday, we released Possibility Pig. This is a 2 cookie step-by-step lesson, and isn't he cute? Our fun pig. Isn't he adorable?
I love them.
Okay. So this probably this Saturday. Do you think this Saturday we'll release it? We won't try to do anything before Friday in the hop, right? So probably
not.
this Saturday we're going to release part of our Western series. We're going to release the clay pots. That'll probably be released on Saturday. This Saturday, okay? And people have said that those of you we have a lot of different tutorials. We hadn't done a lot of Western stuff. So this summer we wanted to do more. And I'm going to show you, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to show you what our box of cookie Western lesson that's coming up soon. That means that you probably, the difficulty level, here it is. Our Southwest Cowboy on his horse, and that's one of the newer. That'll be a release later on this summer. So it's in New Mexico. Vivian probably would like this one, coming from New Mexico. And anyway, and coincidentally, this horse looks almost identical to a horse I used to own, called Cappy Comet, and it's not Cappy, but it could be his brother. Really looks like my horse used to look. So anyway, there's our cowboy. Those are some wonderful lessons coming up. Now, John, what I'd like to do is I want to draw for another downloadable. And even though it hasn't been released yet, so we're not ready for it, I'm wondering what downloadable. I'm thinking that maybe we could do a downloadable when it gets released for the Southwest painting, the Southwest one.
Certainly do that.
And you'll have to wait till we actually get it up there by the weekend. So we're going to do, from those of you who entered our drawing in all last week using the secret hashtag word and the commenting, and were subscribed to our channel. Those were the things that were, those of you, we had, I think we had about 225 comments. We're going to do another one later today.
You can do it right now. We can do it now.
And John's going to do this right now, but I'm saying that we're going to draw for this as a downloadable lesson. Again, downloadable lessons are great because you own them forever. It's like owning a book rather than borrowing one from the library.
All right, kind of a recap for those of you just joining us now. We're using a comment picker. You need to make a comment. You need to subscribe, make a comment. We'd love it if you give it the old thumbs up while you're in there. We give a secret word sometime during the show. It needs to go down in this area here. where it says hashtag. And from this day forward, you need to put the hashtag in there, not just the word. Okay, so this should be hashtag read on, but we had several people that didn't do that for the first time, so we're giving them a break. We've already picked out the first
Here
two.
here is the downloadable lessons
They
for the
can't
first
see that
two.
stuff. It's all
Oh,
blocked.
okay, I'll show them after,
Yeah.
okay?
So the two people have already won on the first round. So now we're picking for the downloadable for the clay pot that will be released. And here we go. Pick another winner. And round she goes. And Raw Vegan, I believe, is down in Panama. I think she's on today. So let me make a note of that. And you'll get the clay pots once they get released, I think Saturday. Well, it'll probably be Saturday because I'm still editing it.
Yeah.
Editing it. That's a big word.
All
Let me
right,
take a
so someone
screenshot.
from Panama won it, huh?
I believe that's where she's hailing from right now.
Awesome. Is she raw vegan?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a lady that comments a lot too. Awesome. So that's cool, isn't it, you guys? And then if you're back to me.
I'm not yet. I gotta save this, and then I'll be back to you.
All right. So then this is where the earlier in the show we had people draw for these two downloadables. We did the drawing for those, right? So stay tuned for the secret word, which is kind of a secret word for this week's drawing, which we will do next week, is perspective. And now we want to talk a little bit about perspective, but
You want
because
to bring up your drawing now?
John's going to bring up the drawing in just a minute. Let me just move this plate out of the way. And because a lot of times, if you don't understand perspective, if you've got a good photograph, the photograph perspective, and a simple way to do perspective, this is to find what we call the vanishing point. And the vanishing point is where the lines of a building kind of converge on the horizon line. And, that's pretty okay. That's, you're going, well, gosh, Ginger, that's all very well and good. But the problem is that there's all these bushes and trees and mountains and stuff, and I have no idea where the horizon line is. And someone else says, well, what the heck is a horizon line? Well, the horizon line is where the sky meets the ocean, where the horizon or the sky meets the water, or where it meets the land if there are no mountains. So then what you've got to do is take away in your mind, you've got to say, if this bushes and trees and all that stuff wasn't here, where would the horizon line be? And so the thing of it is, and we're gonna show this demonstration up, we'll show a thing up on the screen in a minute. But what you do is you take let me just move this a second. Everything's in my way here. What you do is you look at your photograph, and let's see, maybe I can turn this paper. Let me see if I can turn this paper over. Do I have any more paper? I used to have paper here, John. Here it is. All right. So look, a lot of times the vanishing point is off your photograph, and that's where it gets confusing. So if you draw a line like this, and if I'm going to pivot, and if I do this, like I'm going to do like this, and let's see if I can. Can I tape this down? It's all moving on me. This is the part. This is so easy to do once you understand it. Let's move all this paint out of the way. Well, you need a little bit more paint. All right, so I'm going to tape this down so it doesn't move on me, because that gets a little confusing if everybody's moving. And then I'm going to just do this like this and tape this down. Okay, so nothing's moving. Yeah, did that tape down? No, but good enough. All right, so you've got a cheat sheet here. That these lines, if they're pivoting, they have to match, right? So this is pivoting here, this is here. So if I'm going to go, like, for instance, here, or well, maybe I'll just do this one, right, like this. All right, I'm going to take this line here. I'm going to draw it down like this. Would you say that was a good way to do it, John?
Yeah.
Just draw it down like this, and I'm going to
Take
come
it
off and do the paper,
take
right?
it further out. Take it further out.
Yeah, we're going to take it way out here, right? Yeah, because it's off the paper. This is the problem. When it's off the paper like this, you get a little confused. So I'm guessing that the horizon line is about back here somewhere. I'm guessing, but I would, if even still, I'm going to take it way across here, all right? So if I'm doing this like this, and there's some stuff right there, this is, I'm doing here, then I'm doing this, and this is coming here, and then this line's coming down here to it. And it's a little easier to do if I just, I'm going to come across, let's see, do I have a white pencil? Where's my white pencil?
I could put the one up that you've already done.
Well, why don't you put the one up I've already done, so I don't have to do this over. John's going to show you the one up I've already done, because you want to follow the lines to the vanishing point, right? See, they all converge, but a lot of times the vanishing point is can be off your paper, and so use your photo as your reference. Follow that, and then try to see. It's like this line. They all go down here to some point.
They're all going to go to the same magical
They
point.
always go to the same magical dot here, right? And I think it's right about here. They're going here, and they're going here, and they're going here, and they're going here. See? Everybody's going this way. Okay? Yes and yes?
And this is called a one-point perspective.
Yes, 1 point perspective. And even these lines down here are doing that, right? They're all doing that. See? Yes
And you
yes?
can really tell when you start doing windows and doors and things, if they're not following that same perspective line, that's when the painting will start looking funny and it'll drive you nuts.
And the windows
won't know
get thinner.
why.
The other thing is just the windows get thinner.
Yep.
They get
Everything
skinny.
thinner.
Everything gets skinnier as it comes down here. But see, this door is fatter than this door, skinnier, and so forth. Yes. So that's what you want to. That's the key thing here when you're doing something like that. So it really isn't that hard. You've got your photograph is your cheat sheet. It tells you exactly where everything goes. You don't even have to know. Just pay attention to that. What your photograph's doing, and I think you'll be surprised at how effective that is. So we're using CAD red, red medium, and a little what of white, and some magenta. Kind of mixing these reds. All right, like that. So I'm going to say I've got some, putting in my darker colors first. Kind of a little vine that's growing up here like that. We'll put a little yellow with that. And then here's my lighter color on top. Remember, you do the first color, then you do your highlight color on top, right? So there's always there's a dark and a light color. And sometimes you can come in here and just do a little bit darker one. So there's our little darker color right up here. Maybe I'll do one up here like that, coming around. That's going that way. Then we're doing let's see. So if I've got those right there, that's going
Tammy's
around there.
making a good point. The other lesson we have is real good on is the train station on the academy.
Yep.
That's a great lesson for perspective.
A couple of little smaller flowers down here. Yes, and yes, just a couple. We don't want to remember, they're bigger the closer they are. They get smaller down there. If you write me and say, this didn't work, I don't know what happened. What happened was you made your flowers too big. Things get smaller as they go farther away. Write that down. So so it's a little white and yellow. Okay. So I want just a few little yellow flowers here. And I think we ran out of the yellow. Well, the yellow oxide, we used it up, and I need a little bit of that color because it's more in the green tones. There we go. Here. A little bit of yellow oxide. So we're putting in the flowers. Yeah. Just I don't want too many of these, just a couple. I just want to suggest there might be some of these here. And let's see, let's take a little of this color and some yellow.
The hashtag, what does the hashtag mean? That's used for search engines. It's just a unique character that's used. Just make sure you use it this time, because we're not going to give a You know, got to follow instructions, people. We got to make it tough.
We will make it tough, but we do want you to comment, and we'd like it if you share the videos, and we would love it if you subscribe. And
Give us a thumbs up. Do all the things.
see, remember, acrylics dry darker, right? So now we're coming through here and doing a few little lighter flowers.
We have a train station in the academy.
And there's really, actually, I think if you look up the perspective on my channel, I think I've done several on perspective too. The boat dock was a 1-point perspective, a little simple one. But a lot of times what happens is that if your vanishing point or your horizon line, you can't see it. It's one thing, it's pretty easy to see it with an ocean because you could just see it, right? But when you do
Well, the easiest way to do it, I mean, this one, you don't know where the horizon is. The easiest way to do it is the way Ginger did it. You just take all your lines that are converging, and where they converge, that's where the horizon is. That's the horizon of where the guy shot the picture from. His eyeballs were there.
So, just going to take a little Payne's gray with that. Yeah, I want to make sure that I've got this. I want to go back, remember, because I told you that stuff dries darker. So I want to come back and maybe lighten some stuff here. You've got to, don't quit too soon when you're doing a painting, because what happens is that because things have a tendency to dry darker, right? You need to go back and put your lights and darks in. And if you don't do that, I mean, there's a difference. Like what we're doing on the bird hop we're doing one cookie birds. They're really cute. We're going to have a fun time on Friday. But we're doing something like this. Let's see, I want more white in my purple. Okay, I think that got that light enough. Not really. Okay, so there's our purple, and then I want to make sure I've got some dark purple under here. You can also thin out if you get too blobby on your if you get too many blobby flowers, please put the building back and give it another shot here. Let's see, let me just dry that real quick. I have one more thing to dry. That just has to dry and then we're done. And we can do the secret word for, I'll tell you right now, the hashtag word for this week's drawing will be perspective. All right. Okay, there you go. So I think that's good to know. Yes and yes. I want some of this lighter color up in here. I think I'll change brushes. I told everybody that. You didn't say anything, John. Are you still good with me?
I'm just here. I'm
asking. You didn't say anything when I said that, so.
Well, I'm putting it up on the screen. See how you announced it? I thought I put it on the screen, so that's how you have to put it in, exactly how I have it. Capitalization does not really matter, but if you do it the way I did it, even if I spell something wrong, because this is what I'm going to put it in as. And at times I will spell things wrong just to see if you're on your toes. I won't do that.
He won't do that.
Ginger won't let me do that. If my Boy Scouts, I would do it. I'd torment them.
You're not going to torment our viewers, John. Everybody's just getting through the day these days is kind of a torment for an awful lot of people. Have you noticed that? Just because of what's going on in the world.
So that's what you need to know for next week's drawing.
Okay, so we've got this little path going back here. And we want something a little lighter up in the front here.
The winner will be announced on Monday's show.
Yeah, the winner will be announced on Monday's show. Okay, there we
Our
go.
next live show will be this Friday, though, for the bird hop, which is
Which I'm going to
the
explain more
painted
right
bird
now.
hop with the art Sherpa and the Queen of Color are going to be painting some birds.
That's exactly right, huh?
Lots of birdies. 6 birdies this time, 3 each. We've scheduled it for what, 3 more times this year?
Yeah, 3 more times.
Our hopes are this will be popular. Right now we have put on the calendar 3 more events. So you'll end up with 24 birds.
So you can see I'm playing with the lights and the darks now on this. You guys can see that, right?
I see that. Chris has a question. Just to add a little bit of human interest, if I wanted to add a person on it, where would you put it and how high would he be?
I wouldn't put him in there. I'm sorry, I wouldn't put him in because the center
Because
of
that's
interest.
not the subject.
The subject is the house, and this window is the center of interest. All right, and the rest of it. So I wouldn't put him in, unless he was looking out the window or something. You know, then you change the whole design of the painting. You know, which is fine if you want to do that, but like I say, I don't know that I would. Now let's get the. I want to make sure we have these angles at the top, but these have got to be angled like
Let me
that.
put in here again the playlist for the bird hop. Playlist for the bird hop.
And I want to come up here a little bit higher.
There's your playlist for the bird hop. You'll have all 6 listed right there for your convenience.
Yep. Also, yeah. So there you go. So there's our.
The art Sherpa has traceables. Well, Ginger, yes, we'll have traceables.
Yeah, and the traceables will be complimentary.
You just have to be a green member or above.
You
At least
have
to
to
run
be a
through our
member of our,
website.
do have to log
That's a
into
free
our
level.
website, right? But okay. So I would say we're pretty close to being finished with this, but let's see, I'm gonna just. Oh, don't you love this brush? It just can do all this stuff, right? With the I want a little bit more. So I keep playing with my lights and darks. And I'll tell you what, you use a lot more paint, John, not having the
You're not having to stay wet palette.
yeah,
Yeah.
lose a lot more. It's just most of it just
It dries out too fast.
it's like it's like watching ice cream melt. You're like, wait, you know.
I'm
what
not
I
done
mean?
licking it. Yeah, I know.
Wait, right? Don't melt, please don't melt.
How do I save my unfinished painting from getting dusty?
You could just why don't you just mine never get dusty, but I don't know, just
Well,
you should be able to wipe it off.
Yeah, it's acrylic. You can wipe it off, that's for sure. But I have little plastic bags so I ship all our paintings in. I wrap it in a little what's that paper I use? Parchment paper, and put it in a plastic bag. I keep it nice and clean.
Okay, so we got some purple back here.
And
Got a
also,
little
if you
purple.
store it up on end instead of laying down flat, it would help too.
Yeah. So let's see. I'll do one more thing here. I want to, before I finish the final touches on this, I want to mention the 3 paintings we're doing in the bird hop.
Oh, please.
Here they are. Here's our 3 paintings that we're doing again, bird hop. These are fun, aren't they? And hopefully over time we'll have such a collection of these that, and I love it when you group paintings together. It's a lot of fun, and we're going to have coffee cups. They will
We have coffee
both
cups.
Cinnamon and I will have coffee cups with our birds on them.
We both have them up already.
And but actually, they're
up.
they're up now, right?
Yeah, she has hers up. We have ours up.
Yeah, you can look and see because our coffee cups are up there. Wow, how cool is that? So we have the coffee cups. So we think it's a fun thing to do. It'll be fun, lots of color, quick brush strokes, but way easy to do. You're gonna love it. Little one cookie lessons, but these are darling to hang. And they make. Remember, Christmas is coming. These would make fabulous gifts too, or maybe somebody somebody that you know. I would think, and
Or even somebody you don't know.
yeah, or somebody you don't. What, somebody you don't know?
Sure. Brighten their day. Give them a birdie.
Just gonna glaze that back a little bit right there. That got a little bright on me. Okay. So I think that all things considered, that we have done a bang up job with this. And again, I'm putting in. I just needed a couple more little white. Well, you can use
Final
just the
touches,
edges,
as it
little
were.
final touches. You know me, because I want to do them, and you'll go. But she didn't do those during the show. Where did those come from? Well, they kind of came from right here, right? And let's see, where's our long skinny one? So this is, if you figure we went from this to this, and which is kind of neat, yeah, in itself, yeah. Let's make this a little bit darker here. Let's get that path a little skinnier. Okay, because you want the perspective that everything gets smaller as it goes back, right? And so we've got that, and I think I have some very light green that I want to put up here again. Just a little bit of lighter green. Again, everything got darker. So put a little lighter green in that one. And we're pretty sure we've got that. This is one of those things that you can use the same technique to paint all kinds of stuff. And there we go. So there's our purpley flowers. And see, am I going to do anything? This is not real clear up here where this one was. So I think I will do that a little bit more on our, and I could have just kind of lengthened this up here, our roof line here. You know, you want to go back probably with a straight edge on some of this, and you know, you just kind of do your finishing touches. Don't be afraid to just take a moment and look and see where everything dried dark, and then where do you need to go back with a light. And if you do that, like for instance, here's just some zinc white on this, and I'm going to come back on this roof line here. And because this brush had water on it, it didn't do well. Does that make sense? If you have water on your brush, you can't dry brush. Thus the name dry brushing. Yes? So you wipe all the paint off, put the paint on, wipe it off. I want a little bit lighter on this roof line right here, like that. Okay. And some water right there. So I'm about out of paint, so I think this is all we're all doing it, right? But I want to make sure I have this light right here. A little bit of this house lighter here. Okay, so then a little bit of light coming back up in here with our road. All right, you guys, that's it. I think we've done it, John.
Oh, you say that so convincingly, my queen.
Did I say that convincingly?
You did indeed. I want to get our link to our store.
Yeah, what's that?
The link to the...
Yeah, the store here. Let's... Be a little bit lighter around there. And
They changed everything.
I would say that we're good to go here, right? And that was interesting. I want to thank Liz again for this green color. I think it's a nice green. If you might want to get a green, this is a nice green to have. It's pretty. It's a very pretty green. Let's just put a window right there.
I just put in a link to the coffee mugs right there. Coffee mug link.
And let's see, I got those a little too high, so let's just fold this down. Let's see, we want to do this. And remember, raw umber ages everything.
Everything?
It just age your painting, make it look very, very old. Which is good to know, right? That's one of the things you can just add a little bit if you want something toned down and you don't want too much. See some cad red light and orange. Want something a little brighter around here. I'm going to brighten this up. There we go. Okay, I think this, we'll sign it right here. And
Right where?
right there. Can I sign it right there?
Where?
Right there. Well, maybe here. I lied.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe here I lied. All right. I hope this was fun. The question, we again thank our moderators for coming.
Thanks, moderators.
Let's plan on making a day of it on Friday, hop back and forth between Cinnamon and me, which is really fun. We're going to do a drawing again for some more downloadable lessons and maybe some other stuff next week. You never know. But if you want to enter the drawing, then the question of the day is what, John?
I got that. Wait.
The question of the day, and that has to go in the comments. You have all week to answer. You don't have, if you put it in the chat, where it doesn't matter, the chat doesn't count. You have to
we won't see it.
We won't see it. It's got to go in the actual comments. We appreciate it if you haven't subscribed. Boy, by now I know you want to. So certainly hope you do. And let's see.
That off. And
this is a Posca pen I'm signing with, by the way, and you have to really shake them. The reason I like these really is because if you don't, because they last. Cinnamon did with these, she did the best test on these, right? On the Posca pens. She did a workshop, and they used Posca pens on rocks, and they were very rough rocks. And it worked out just beautifully. I wish that had shown up better. You know what I like about Posca pens? And you're going, no, what do you like about Posca pens is you can erase them. That didn't show up, so I've got to use a darker one. That's all. Got to be a darker pen because that one just didn't show up with the white. Shake them, you push them like this to get. Okay, and remember when you're signing, finger above, because you're going to lose the finger's width in the frame, right? So always sign above like that. And for those of you who are signing with your initials, I did a video on YouTube on how to sign your name, and a thought I've had since I've done that video is this: if you're just signing it JQ or something, that's kind of catchy because someone has a JQ. But if it's just CW, no. People collect Monets, Renoirs, G. Harveys. They collect names, not initials. So think about that.
All right, here's the question of the week. Do you have trouble with perspectives? Do you understand 1 point, 2 point, and 3 points perspective? That is what you want to answer in the comments with your hashtag perspective. And you'll be in the drawing for next week's winning. We congratulate those that won this week. If you won this week, please use to contact us on acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com and let me know that you are a winner chicken dinner.
There you go. So there's our finished painting, you guys. Again, the traceable will be in will be on our website, acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com, for basic supporters and above. And we're always here to answer your question. And I want to shout out to my friend Barry in the UK. and thank him for being an Academy member. And remember, Barry, you can always use to contact us if you ever have any trouble logging in.
Yeah, please, guys, use a contact us on acrylic painting with gingercook.com. I don't always see messages in Facebook. I don't see emails that go to Ginger. Ginger very seldom finds them in a timely fashion. She's so busy with all her packs. She does that. That's her priority. So use the contact us form, please, if you have any questions, comments, or
Yeah, and I see
etc.
one more thing as you're telling us. What I see one more thing I need to do here.
The house is upside down. Do I need to rotate the camera around?
The house is upside down again. Dry brushing. I just want this.
I was wondering about that. I was going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't either. There. Sorry, had to do that for the roof there, back there. Oh, so much better. Yes and yes. All right. So remember, look at your paintings in a mirror. Take a moment to stand back and take a look at them. The reason I don't have to stand back is I've got a
Monitor.
TV screen and monitor right above me, and I can just look up and see what I'm doing. You need to take a moment to do that. Take a moment to subscribe and comment, and we'll see you Friday for
the painted
for the painted bird hop. Woohoo!
The paint what?
Painted bird hop.
The painted bird hop. All right, there we go. That's it for tonight, people.
Bye.
Can't thank you enough. See you Friday.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.